Hey there, everybody. So I am at my office this morning, and I'm not really ready for the day. I just got back from running my son to kindergarten and popped in here to the office to do a couple things, drop off some stuff and all that good stuff, and decided, before I get home and everything gets all crazy this morning, because I got lots of little ones at home right this very second, I thought let's just do conscious coffee right now. And I don't even have coffee. I don't have coffee. Oh well. But I was thinking about it as I was driving this morning. I was just thinking about energy, of course, which is what I'm normally always thinking about, how to get vibration to stay in a nice place of abundance, of, just really receiving mode. And as I was driving, I was thinking about a whole bunch of different stuff. And recently I've been experiencing a lot of what I'm going to refer to as yo-yo energy. So kind of like a yo-yo, like we release a yo-yo and it goes down and then it comes back up, and then we release it and it goes down and then it comes back up. I really wish that I had a yo-yo right now, but I don't even think I own one. So you release and then it comes back up. And the thing with a yo-yo, you could say, well, what goes down must come up and what goes up must come down, right? Well, that is exactly the problem with a yo-yo, is that when it comes back up, or if you're throwing it up in the air, it's going to come back down, right? So there's like all these cool yo-yo tricks that you can do. And it's, as cool as the yo-yo effect is, if we are experiencing that yo-yo energy in our life, how are we ever going to maintain a vibration to actually draw in what we want, to draw in, to manifest, to create the life that we want? You can't. You cannot. If you are yo-yoing it through your life, then you are not going to manifest shit into your life, okay? It's just not going to happen. And, it really is this whole thing of trying to, it's not that you don't want to be like this, okay? You do not want to be that flatline person, that dead person walking. That's not positive either. That's not going to attract anything. If you have no emotion, no vibe, no feel to stuff, that's going to give you a very blah experience in life. You're not going to draw in the lustrous, the playful, the joyful, the loving, the connective things, those things that make you go, yes, I love that. But you can't always be happy, right? I mean, that's silly. We all know. Nobody can be happy all the time. And we really probably shouldn't be, because in our anger and our depression and all of those more negative charged emotions, which are lower vibrating emotions, they do bring about this contrast to our life. So they're there to show us what we want, to really bring in, to tell us like, hey, you really want this, you really want that. Because anytime we are lacking something, we realize how much we want it. And that's where we get that desire to have something new come in, or that desire to have life some way that it is not, is from that contrast, from that difference that we have appearing in our current reality. With that all said and done, have you ever noticed, and I do, like Conscious Coffee always does, it either is some beautiful message coming in from God, or it is something going on in my life that I am sharing. And this year especially, the last 60 to 90 days of my life, I have noticed a couple people in my life with a lot of yo-yo energy. And it is this like just in and out of all this different stuff. And it's like one day we're great, the next day we're not. Then, 1 minute we're great and 30 minutes later we're not. And it is that internal flux that prevents a vibration from maintaining. And how are we reacting to our outside world? I am constantly teaching my clients, teaching my children, teaching myself, and it's more of a reminding than a teaching. The reminding process of that it's important to have a pause button. It's important to just not react in so many moments. And we typically are very reactive in everything that we do. Something appears to us and we react to it, right? We don't just pause and go, whoa, let me take a breather on that. Let me take a time out on that. Let me feel into this. How does this really truly make me feel? Oh, well, that makes me feel angry. That makes me feel sad. That makes me feel happy. You make me feel angry. You make me feel sad. You make me feel happy. You make me feel that, in love. You make me feel not in love. You make me feel worthy. You don't make me feel worthy. You make me feel guilty. You make me feel jealous. All right. So this is the thing, is we are always outward pointing, right? When we pause, and as I just say, think of the commercials, the staple commercials, that big red button, and just hit that red button. It needs to be like internal big button that you just hit, and that's the pause button. And when you pause and you go internal on those things, what you're going to find is that all of those things are coming, even the positive will come from a state of ego. It is not truly your authentic self saying, hey, okay? Because anytime we are putting any of those emotions, the way we feel, because we typically say that emotion is the way we feel, right? So that into somebody else's hands, we are now turning all of our power over to that other being. We're saying, you are now in charge of me. I am basically you are my captor, and you're going to dictate to me how I feel, how I show up, how I choose to live my life, the actions I choose to take. My emotional state, my vibrational state is dependent on you. That's it. It's all you. Isn't that just crazy? That's just freaking crazy. It really is. Holy crap. There's a whole bunch of people on here. Hey, Griffin. Hey, Addison. John. Barry. I gotta say good morning, everyone. Morning, 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 morning. Morning, Michael. Hey, Ken. Chris. Very, very cool. Okay, well, good morning, everybody. So yeah, what we do is we put everything into other people's hands in general. Now, you may be conscious of this or you may not be conscious of it, but a lot of the times we're not conscious of it, and we just run through our lives in this unconscious, unaware state, unhappy, depressed, upset, and pointing fingers outward. And even the most conscious of us still get into this blame mode, into this victim mode, and this is a victim mindset where we are taking our personal power and we're putting it into somebody else's hands, and we're saying, you now dictate my life, you now run my life. Well, guess what that does? That puts us in this yo-yo. We're up and down, we're up and down, we're up and down, because we are dependent on what this other person is doing, how this other person is acting, showing up, treating us. We have a bunch of expectation with this releasing of our power, this pretty little package that we go, I'm yours, and here it is, and this is all you. You get to take care of me now. I am your responsibility. My emotional mental state is now your responsibility. We also have the expectation in that moment that this other person is going to care for us, make sure that we are high vibing, that we are just happy, that we are taken care of, that we are not going to get upset, that we are not going to have anything, go wrong in our lives, that we're going to maintain, we're going to be stable, comfortable. Yeah, those are all dangerous, dangerous things. Any single time we do that. Hold on. And see, Addison, it is always good to be reminded to pause and also be aware of the yo-yo energy. I know I can get unconscious at times in this way. Can't we all? But it really is important to realize that any time we feel ourselves, like one moment we're connected or happy, and then the next moment we're around somebody and we feel negative charge, we feel sadness, we feel different things happening. Realize that right there means that you are not stable in your vibration. You are not in true alignment to your soul, because when you are completely in soul alignment, you're not going to be thrown off the fence in any way by anybody. If you are around them consistently, yes, they will pull you down or they can pull you up depending on where they're vibing at. They can definitely do that. But when you are very stable in your vibration, then you're not going to get pushed or pulled in any particular direction. Instead, what's going to happen is you're going to have a feeling come up where you kind of go, oh, oh, this feels this way or that feels that way. So it's kind of, think about this. You walk into a room, you think that you're completely stable. You think that you're really stable in your soul. You are aligned to who you are, right? Your vibration's good, you're strong, you're stable, and you walk into this room and the room just has a negative vibe to it. But you choose to hang out, okay? You choose to hang out. It's a meeting that you have to be at. So you go to this meeting, but there's just this negative charge there. And you're like, and you start talking to people and you're like, yeah, you're like, I'm going to bring positive energy to this room. I'm going to light up this room. I'm going to change the energy in here, and I'm going to show everybody what really high vibe energy is like, and I'm going to help everybody in here. Well, you walk around and you just get negative comment after negative comment after negative comment, and the conversations are just dead or hard to come by, and it's almost like pulling teeth when you're talking to somebody and you feel like this, you want to run. Everything inside of you is just going, get the heck out of here, get out of this space, get away from these people. But you choose to stay. And if you choose to stay, notice what happens in those moments. We've all done this. We've all been in a situation where we've walked into a room feeling good and we've gotten around 1, 2, 10 other people or more, and the energy is different than what we are experiencing. When we choose to stay, inevitably what happens? We tend to get drugged down. And then at some point we go, I'm out, and we leave because we go, this is too much. But the problem here is that we allow it to get to be too much instead of reading the initial signs. So what that does is if we force ourselves to stay in that situation, we end up actually bringing ourselves down, right? So we yo-yo ourselves down. And then we leave the situation, and now we do a lot of mental processing, right? We do all this mental processing. We think it through, and we go, man, I should have told so-and-so this. Man, I should have done this. I should have listened to my gut on the front side. Shoulda, 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 shoulda. I can't believe how he, she said this, wore that, did that, blah, 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 blah. So we do all of that. We get into that state, and we process through it. But then at the end of that, guess what happens? Our vibration is actually less than what it was when we originally walked into that room. So not leaving that room instantaneously, the moment we first went, whoa, I feel like this is not a good energy for me, then we bring ourselves into that vibration. If we had moved ourselves from that scenario on the front side, our vibration would have maintained where it was at. Okay, so what you have to do to prevent that yo-yo within yourself is, number one, notice all the yo-yo around you and get the heck away from it. Move away from the yo-yo energies. Call it out if you need to, but just say, hey, we're not vibing at the right space right now. We're not vibing right here, so it's time to move this way. Put some separation in there. See how that goes. Allow others to be responsible for themselves. I call it babysitting other people's emotions, because it's not something that we want to do. We do not babysit other people's emotions. Taking care of our own emotions is sometimes hard enough, often hard enough. And then taking care of other people's emotions is just a pain, and it's not anybody's responsibility. So if you're feeling that you are taking care of other people's emotions or mental state, realize that is that yo-yo. It is pulling you down. It is pulling you into this state of lower vibe where you feel like you need to, should, where there's guilt, there's shame, there's this over concern that you are responsible for somebody else. That is that your vibration actually getting contracted down into a lower vibrating state, and you got to get out of there. You got to just kind of move away from those situations, whether it is a group scenario, whether it is I just had it this morning. This morning I got up and everything was fine. It was all great, and I got up, made my coffee, I went back in, got my kindergartner ready for school, and he didn't want to go to school. He was like, Mom, I'm tired, I don't want to go to school, no. So I'm fighting putting his socks on, I'm fighting getting his shirt on, it's just like, I'm struggling with it, because he used to like Mr. Limp Noodle and fight me on everything. And then I bring him into the kitchen, and he's having his chocolate waffle and everything, and his green drink, and he just does not want to eat. He doesn't want to drink his smoothie. He doesn't want to take his vitamins. He doesn't want to do any of this stuff. He's just going, no, 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 no. And I'm like, you're either going to go to the car nicely or not nicely. It's your choice. And of course he's just like, and he just limp noodles it. So I find myself just, heaving a 6-year-old over my shoulder and dragging him to the car. And he's a pretty good sized kid too. But it was this whole thing of that in that moment, I felt my vibration in that moment as he consistently, fought the scenario, and his vibration was so negative, I felt myself going down a little bit. Even though I was charged at a pretty good high rate because I just woke up, I felt good. I went to bed with positive mindset stuff playing. I had a really positive day yesterday, all this good stuff. And there it was, that little spat of just like, phew. And what I chose to do was to bring his vibration up because I knew that I could. I put in his favorite song. We started singing. I let him do a couple special things. I let him sit like a big boy in the car, which he's like, yay, I don't have to have this. I don't have to do that. I allowed some different things to get him to shift. Now, in some moments, we can get other people to shift. If it can happen quickly, if you can get that shift to happen quickly, like with my 6-year-old, it was basically a 2-minute thing where it just shifted. Now, if he had stayed in this nasty mood, if he had just all the way to school, which is a 30-minute drive, if he had spent that 30 minutes crying and screaming and kicking the back of the chair, and doing all these different things, my energy would have been completely different once I got to the school than just dealing with 2-3 minutes of his nasty mood and getting him to shift. So look for those opportunities that you can shift, but realize that they need to shift within a really quick period of time, because the majority of people out there, self included, are not able to stay in that amount of resistance for a long period of time without it significantly affecting our own personal vibration. So, hey, good morning. A few other people on here. Good morning, everybody. So that is the gist of this conscious coffee. My voice is breaking and I don't have anything to, I don't want water right this very second. I want another cup of coffee. So I am going to go get another cup of coffee. Since I'm at my office, I'm going to go home, which is right around the corner, and get another cup of coffee and take a shower and go do a whole bunch of cool stuff this morning. But I wanted to definitely get this message out to you to look at where that yo-yo effect is in your life, and to become more consciously aware of when you are around people that are in that yo-yo and how it is really affecting your vibration. And you can tell that by what is showing up in your life and how you feel. So if you're around somebody and you start to get a real negative charge, you start to just go, it causes a whole bunch of stuff to go off in you. You feel a lot of tension, you feel a lot of anxiety, you suddenly feel depressed, you suddenly feel guilty or shameful, you start questioning things, you get into should mode. These are all signs that that other person's energy is pulling your vibration down. And when you get pulled down like that, you have to release that is contracting you. And the best way to do it is to put separation between you and the thing that is causing the pull down, that contraction. So if that is another person, if it is something going on in your home, in your office, there's plenty of times that if you can get just a 10-minute break time to go and walk around the building, to go and do a quick 10-minute meditation, to listen to upbeat music, find those things that help you shift your energy back into a higher vibrational state, and have those available, accessible very quickly. Keep stuff on your phone, keep stuff accessible that maybe even just, I know like the smell of peppermint to me or the smell of frankincense is uplifting to me. So those things I typically will carry like a little bit of peppermint oil in my purse, so that if I can't access music or a positive affirmation or something like that, and I don't have anything to like write, and there's not really a space for me to even sit in silence to get back into alignment, I'll take like a little bit of peppermint oil and rub it on my hands and just smell like that, because it's so igniting and charging. It will change your vibration. So look for those different things that you can do to have your vibration maintained and get yourself from a negative situation that might be a yo-yo situation or cause a yo-yo situation in your life into a higher vibrational moment. Okay. All right. Let me see. Announcements. Addison and I will be teaching a class in a couple of weeks. It is called Seeing the Other Side, an experiential journey into your sex, which is going to be an absolute beautiful experience. The items that we are going to be sharing in here, we have not shared with any of our clients. We have not shared. It is not stuff that we have taught before. This is going to be a 100% experiential workshop. So if you are local to the DFW area, or if you can get your butt here, definitely look for that. I believe we have it set up for like March 23rd or 26th, something like that. The details will be coming out on this probably by the end of tomorrow is what we're hoping. We're just looking at confirmation of location on that. So once we get that done, the details definitely will be coming out. It'll be a co-ed workshop, and it is going to be definitely teaching you how you can recover your deepest self, get into alignment, and the different things, the blockages, the patterns, the programs that we hold around our sex, and how that actually hinders all of our life. And anybody who follows me, if you've been following me for a little bit, reading my material, I mean, I'm like 10 years deep on content at this point on the sex and abundance stuff and how our sex impacts the rest of our life. So it's not just about sexual dysfunctions and sexual trauma and different stuff like that, or having bigger, better orgasms. It is about how our sex actually impacts our life, how it impacts our abundance and our ability to create that fuck yes life that I'm always talking about. Well, if you want to have that fuck yes life, start by working through those sexual hang-ups that you might have, those blockages that you don't even realize, the shame, the fear that we have around our sex. And we all have that. We live in a world that is really sexually charged in a negative fashion. We're very unhealthy in our sex, and we think about sex just as that friction-based, quick release, make a baby, something that is, it's not that at all. Our sex is truly our powerhouse. It is our GPS system into who we are and our guidance tool back to soul. And it is not just about the friction and the release, or even about the orgasm or the climax. It is about soul alignment and completely being and living in a creative state and owning who you are at your core. This workshop is going to be a foundational tool to teach you just that. So look for details on that. I have another announcement that will be coming out towards the end of the day, hopefully, and that is all for conscious ladies out there looking for conscious men to date and to be in a love relationship with. But I don't have the details all worked out on that yet. As everybody knows, I'm never single. I always have lots of men in my life, lots of amazing men in my life. I manage to keep incredible guys in my life all the time, and I'm going to be sharing my secrets on how to attract a conscious man into your life and keep him for everything. Quite literally, keep them around for a friend, for a lover, for that companion, for that business partner. It's not to conscious men show up in our lives in so many different ways. They are truly all over this world. The problem with what is going on is that they typically are not showing up to the conscious woman who is wanting them in one particular area of her life. So I'm going to show you conscious ladies out there exactly how to draw that conscious man into your life, or multiples into your life, and create the relationships that you want. So look at that. That will be coming out as well this week, and the Seeing the Other Side, experiential journey into your sex. And I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. See you guys there. Remember to share this video. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for all your loves, your likes. Thank you for following me on here. Make sure that you share it. Hit the little share button. Yes, I'm telling you to share it, okay? And you can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com, here on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. I'm all over the place. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.